deal, I'm not a big fan of excessive storytelling in video games. I mean, if I wanted a poorly written story, I'd go watch a Michael Bay movie. When I play video games, I want to play video games, and I prefer to play ones that remember they're supposed to be interactive, let alone games. So when I saw Dragon Age 2 on my list of assignments this week, I wasn't sure what to expect. I hadn't played any Dragon Age before, and all I knew was that it's considered an RPG, it's heavily story-driven, and it has chicks who can turn into dragons. And for me, that's strike 3. Well, the bottom line is, I expected Dragon Age to encapsulate everything that I repeat, personally dislike about video games and modern development trends. Consider this a review from the perspective of a gamer just discovering what BioWare's series is all about.
Wait, where are we going?
Away from the Darkspawn, where else?
And then where? We can't just wander aimlessly.
But here's the problem with me and games like this. I couldn't possibly care less about the story. I know today's game designers think they're writing movies, but you know what? Someone needs to tell them to stop the charade, because as heavily as this game seems to depend on its story, as much emphasis as it wants to put on the characters and what's happening to them, it's boring, it's drab, it's the most uninteresting part of Dragon Age 2. So I don't know, I guess something is happening with this guy and his sister and their MILF mom, and there's a problem and they have to escape and people get stabbed with swords. The story might matter more to me if the characters had character. They don't. It's just a bunch of random guys who all have armor on. And I'm not sure why I should care about these people other than because BioWare says I have to. So it's not that the story or the characters are inherently interesting, but it's your interaction within that world that is, no matter how objectively uninteresting the supporting cast and the setting may be. Imagine that, interactivity being the draw of a video game. What will they come up with next?
This expedition was our last chance.
Don't worry, Bethany. I won't let any big bad Templars come get you.
In terms of the broader gameplay, Dragon Age 2 is a massive 30-hour action RPG with a versatile, if fundamentally standard, combat system. You're hacking and slashing for the most part, but there's also an impressive degree of nuance here as well. You can command the members of your team during battle, and there's a ton of stuff to keep you improving and upgrading your characters. What I love about it is that, it's a simple system, but there's a lot of depth added to it. So it makes the game simultaneously easy to get into, but also rewarding enough that you're probably going to want to put, unspeakable amounts of time into it. Of course, for everything Dragon Age 2 does exceptionally well, there are definitely some ho-hum aspects of it too. It's not a fantastic looking game on the Xbox 360 by any means, with really unvaried locations and noticeably low res textures. The game is surprisingly linear too, which is why I mentioned the illusion that you can affect things, because in reality, you can't really do as much as you might think. But that said, my first stay in the Dragon Age world was a very enjoyable one. This is a place, I gotta tell you, this is a place I can get used to, and considering my personal taste in games, I repeat, my personal taste in games, I'd say that's a job well done, BioWare.
Sold.